We've got Dino Delaley of Dino's Night Out in studio. Jimmy Vaselli of Vaselli Law, friend of the show and sponsor of the show. And we are now joined by Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the same thing I always ask. Like, I had Holly Kim in here like last week, and I go, okay, what are the honorifics as a commissioner, whatever? Like, I'm like, when you go, your honor to the judge, or, if you see somebody, what is there an honorific that goes with being a commissioner?
Yeah, so when you get elected to office, you get an honorific. So, the letters come in, HON dot Kevin Morrison when I receive mail.
And then should I call you Commissioner Morrison? Is that the way, the proper way of addressing you?
So people call me Commissioner, but people call me Kevin as well. It's just another job. I look at all jobs the same.
Look, I'm going to tell you something. I went to 8 years of evil college, and I didn't do that just to have you call me Mr. Evil, all right? So if you got that honorific, we're using the honorific, okay?
My family calls me the commish.
The commish? That was a good show.
Classic show.
Sure
Classic show with The Thing.
The Thing with Michael Chiklis. And now, Commissioner Morrison, you're running for another office now, right?
That is correct. Well, first and foremost, good morning to all of our listeners in the Elgin area. I'm Kevin Morrison, County Commissioner, representing the northwest suburbs of Cook County, which include the Cook County portion of Elgin. But now I'm running for Congress for the 8th Congressional District, currently held by Raja Krishnamurthy, who's running for U.S. Senate. Got it.
Krishnamurthy, good guy. Everyone's like, yeah, it's like a musical chairs right now going on with all the different spots. Talking about what you bring as a commissioner to Congress, I'm just curious to use the old line from Philadelphia by Denzel Washington. Explain it to me like I'm an 8-year-old, okay? What's the difference between being a Cook County commissioner and then moving into Congress?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I'm the only candidate in this race who has served the last 7 years in office, and it's a pretty big deal. Cook County is the second largest county in the entire nation. Mm-hmm. We have a over $10 billion budget. Our chief responsibilities are public safety and public health. But what sets me apart in this field is over the last 7 years, I've been delivering, making things more affordable for our families, expanding healthcare access. I've done that by making it easier to start small businesses in our communities, but also by creating our brand new Department of Mental and Behavioral Health. So I have a track record of delivering, meeting with our residents, finding out their issues, and then bringing solutions to the table.
So then what of that do you want to bring into the Congress?
Yeah, so first and foremost, as a county commissioner, I treated it as a full-time job. I took night classes for 5.5 years to get a law degree. I did not go to law school to see our Constitution ripped to shreds. And right now we're seeing a lot of our civil liberties, our constitutional rights under attack. We're seeing congressional authority taken over by the executive. And that is one of the reasons that compelled me to step into this race. We need leadership with backbone and fight who are actually going to be fighting every single day for the issues our working families are dealing with and not just bringing chaos and noise to the halls of Congress.
There were so many trigger phrases in there. I'm going to avoid them because it's turning into the way political talk show here on the morning.
We're going to have to muffle him just a bit because it's not going to work. You mentioned something, and I'm going to hit you right away if I can. You developed small business. So how did you do that? What have you done to help the small business person? Minority businesses or all businesses?
Yeah, so, despite the name Kevin Morrison, I'm actually mostly Italian. My mom's side were immigrants from Italy. They came here with nothing. They were able to experience the American dream in their own lifetime. They opened up an Italian restaurant on the northwest side, Dino's Pizza. It's 57 years old now, run by my mom and my aunt.
On Higgins?
On Higgins, yes.
I've been going to Dino's. I can't tell you for how long. I love the pizza.
It is,
and just the people. One person's nicer than the other. Yeah. That's your place.
Yeah, that's my family's place.
We got to start covering the mic like the congressional. I didn't realize he was Italian.
Did not answer that question. Right?
Yeah. Okay. I retract. No,
it's turned into an inquiry here.
No, but that's great.
Everyone knows Dino's.
Right. Oh, no kidding.
Hey, during COVID, we were ranked in one of the national magazines as one of the top 100 restaurants America can't afford to lose, which is a source of pride for my family. But, it's really grown up in that restaurant that first and foremost showed me how important our small businesses are, how impactful they are to the surrounding community, how they give back. It's what got me interested in wanting to live a life of public service and giving back. And so when I ran for county board, especially because I'm a millennial, our generation is predicted to do worse off than my parents, which is unacceptable and something I want to change. I ran on making it easier to start small businesses. And what did I do? I created a nationally recognized one-stop shop that not only helps our current businesses grow, but helps gives free resources to aspiring entrepreneurs so that they can start new businesses, growing the middle class, and seeing upward mobility.
Is there any support going on, like financial support through that program?
Oh, yes. We give access to every low-interest loan. When there are $3 grants available, we will help them, file for what licenses are necessary, if they need assistance creating a budget, full wraparound services and language access.
That's great. Any support to help them deal with these tariffs? Because these tariffs are killing people right now, killing small business.
One of the reasons why I'm running for Congress. A congressional authority should have a say over these tariffs. We have 7 million fewer houses in this nation than we should be as of 2026. And we're putting tariffs on most countries that export construction material, making housing even more expensive. So that needs to be tackled.
I thought Congress controlled that. I was like confused. That's what I learned. That's what I learned in civics class. It was Congress does the taxing and the stuff like that. What happened? What happened? I don't know. You know what? I'm going to get in trouble here, so I'm going to hit a break.
Yeah, you're doing good. Kevin, I'm going to tell you something. As a former restaurant owner, what a platform you had dealing with people and hearing what people have to say. That makes you, I think, a pretty good candidate for what it is you're bringing for. And when we come back, I got a couple good questions for you, too. But I think they give you a great foundation, especially Dino. You can't top that restaurant. But just in general, a restaurant owner and someone who's working in a restaurant, my kids worked at 8 years old. I imagine you were young when you started. So you got
serving
to see,
all throughout college.
Right? And that's what you do is you're serving the people. Great job.
I'm sorry, Todd chimes in on the YouTube. Dino's is awesome. The extra thin is amazing. Yeah. I like that. All right, folks, when we come back, it's more with Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison, the commish. And we'll talk more about what he wants to do in Congress after this break on the WRMN Morning Show. Welcome back to the WRMN Morning Show, where I'm not turning up anybody else's mics right now because it was a hot mic moment. Well, no, it wasn't a hot mic moment on the break. And I was like, oh, wait, those mics were down, thank God. Because there was a tremendous revelation learned during the break. Commissioner Morrison, you're holding out on us here. You dropped a bomb on the WRMN Morning Show during the break, which is you're not just Kevin Morrison. You've got a whole nom de plume in there, which is?
Hey, my first and last name are easy, Kevin Morrison, but my full name is Kevin Barini Umberto Morrison.
Oh, geez.
Beautiful.
Then this one goes, you got the Italian name? Oh, God. Jeez, it turned into Goodfellas in here for a moment.
Vero, io parlo in italiano.
Well, there you go. I'm the only Rican in the room. All right.
Yo hablo bien en español también.
Qué bueno. Y tienes el acento también. Qué bueno. All right.
Gracias.
That's good. Now, we were talking about the things that you've been doing for small business. Can we go back to that a little bit? Because, I made the comment about how a lot of small businesses are struggling with the current, economic, situation. I'm just going to say, I'm going to step back a little here. But what are things that Congress, you say you want to be in Congress to help small businesses. What are things, and outside of what we've already talked about before the break, with executive power, what are the things you think Congress can do at this point in time to help small businesses?
Yeah, well, there's a small business committee in Congress. First and foremost, I want to bring this nationally recognized one-stop shop I created in Cook County and bring that national. 80% of our jobs come from small businesses, but one of the chief ways of seeing upward mobility, of entering the middle class, is being able to invest, create your own business, creating jobs in your local community. And so that's really something I'm passionate about, and seeing more federal funding, more assistance to aspiring entrepreneurs to help create businesses is something I would like to see done a little bit better in the halls of Congress.
I know. I look at the city of Elgin, and there are a lot of different businesses throughout here that you can tell they're struggling a bit. You know, we were talking about kind of like the limited hours that folks can be open. I know a lot of stuff happened during COVID. A lot of places closed, and even after COVID, even restaurants have very limited open business hours. Like, what are things that you think can be done to kind of stimulate that economy and get that expanding?
I mean, we need to compel people to get and spend less time on their phones and get out more with the public. And I think one way that we could deal with that in Congress too is getting rid of the divisiveness. You know, all of us, no matter what your ideology is, we have more in common and more than we agree on than what we disagree. And so I want to see more community building, and that is, you know, incredibly impactful to our small business community as well.
I follow a young lady on Facebook. Her name's Jamie Berry, and she has a business that's about that very thing, and helping other businesses and being involved in the community. She used to work at the Martini Room right over here in Chicago. She's opening her own place. What do you say, like, what kind of encouragement do you want to give to entrepreneurs, people who want to not only start their own businesses, but they want to do that sort of thing where they are also compelling others to support local business? I mean, it's one thing to say it, but what are some of the incentives that can be offered there to get people to come together? You say, yeah, get off our phones, be social.
Yeah.
But there's got to be more of a carrot there to get people going. What are some ideas, like any outside the box ideas, crazy ideas that you thought of? Hey, maybe we should try this out. See if we can get people to be out more and support each other.
Yeah, well, you know, first and foremost, if you want to start a business, you got to be passionate about the type of business you want to open. And, you know, I'm telling people to get off their phones, but, you know, the Cook County Small Business Source that I created, you could literally get someone on the phone and get direct assistance from someone working with the county who could help you throughout the process. So, you know, it's, you know, for those who have questions, we're there to provide answers. And so, you know, for me specifically, you know, seeing how my grandparents, you know, came here, you know, sold vegetables on the street, were able to save up money and open up a business. It's far more difficult today to start from nothing and be able to create something successful. And that means that we need to be investing in our youth. We need to be making, you know, for starter jobs, people need to be paid more so that they can save. But, you know, it's all about community building. It's about getting people together and doing what they're passionate about.
I'm looking at the web page right now, cookcountysmallbiz.org.
That is correct.
Let me put that up on the screen for folks who haven't seen it before. It's cookcountysmallbiz.org. It's called the Small Business Source, providing access and fostering growth, and lots of different resources here that you can access. Look at a nice little bit there. 67,000 plus small businesses reached. 67 million in grants distributed to businesses with 20 employees or less in 2020. 16,000 plus businesses served through direct assistance. That's pretty impressive.
I'm very proud of that. You know, the grant program we did was all directed at small businesses with 10 or less staff. By year's end, over 70% of those small businesses were no longer considered small businesses under our criteria. We help businesses grow.
Excellent.
Can I ask a commission? Would you be willing to get every Tuesday, I believe it is, there is a small business for Elgin the morning show for the first shifters. Would you be able to liaise or get somebody to work with the people who come in and the small business to work for Cook County, provided it's a Cook County business?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I think everybody on this panel right now has a tie to small business. I think most people work for small businesses. Not everybody works for the monoliths like Amazon or Meta, whatever.
There's going to be a lot of folks who aren't going to be working for Amazon soon.
Right.
Same with Meta. Yeah.
And when you have a small business, and especially in the restaurant business, because I grew up in the restaurant business, my mom worked 2 restaurant jobs. I just think it's such a great way to learn how to talk to people and really hear their needs and everything like that. Is that something you think will help you in Congress?
100%. I think that any type of service job benefits you no matter what career you end up in. You know, I served pizzas all throughout college at my family's restaurant, and, you know, it helps you be able to communicate with all the different customer bases that are coming through your doors. And so, yes, the ability to for one, find common ground with others, no matter what party they are. That's something I really look forward to doing in Congress. I want to make sure it's functioning again, and we've got people, no matter your ideology, actually working together on their shared interests and bringing policies forward that help everyday Americans do better.
I'm trying really hard to not get into any controversial subjects here, but you guys keep bringing up pizza. All right, so I've got to ask the question: triangles or tavern cut?
I mean, so we're in Chicagoland. It is tavern style pizza, but we have deep dish and pan as well.
Yeah. Well, okay. Deep dish. Have you had New York pizza?
I have.
Okay. New York pizza versus Chicago pizza.
I mean, do you want me to get murdered? No. Chicago pizza all the way, and that is not even a lie. And especially Dino's. The pizza here is the best.
I see. My only thing is, I would love for there to, like, when I went to New York, their pizza, I'll admit, their pizza is pretty good. But the part that sets it apart from Chicago, you could walk into a pizza place at 2 a.m. in New York and get a fresh made pizza. That doesn't happen around here, unfortunately. I would like to be able to, like, one day, I'm like, I wake up in the middle of the night, it's 2, 3 in the morning. I would like a cheese and sausage, something really good, and then just be able to get it. And everyone's asleep by that point. It's like, we'll call it the Night Owl Pizza Place. You know what? I need to go onto this small business source here, and this is going to be my overnight pizza place. We won't be open during the day. We're going to be open at night.
Maybe you guys could work something out.
Yeah.
So how does that Cook County thing work out? Where if you're in Elgin, you're half Cook County and you're half Kane or whatever else they have in this one. Would you be able to help a business that's on the border or even in the, let's say, the Kane County? What if they're a Kane County business?
Well, I would say the best path forward is help elect me to Congress so I could create a program like this that goes national so that all Kane County receives the same benefits.
Oh, so that's one of your goals is then to expand this even further.
100%. Same with my mental health department. I helped create a Cook
mental
County.
health is very important.
Let's see here. We've got studio line is open 847-931-1410. 847-931-1410 if you want to call in. I see people chiming in on the YouTube. Jamie Berry is the owner of Vern's Tavern. She's a good friend of mine, and she's the best. Thank you, Hector Soto. I am a huge fan of Jamie's. I stalk her on Facebook. Hopefully she doesn't think I'm creepy or anything like that. But, yeah, she's opening a new place. She was at the Martini Room for the longest time, and she's also started this nice little business where she's talking to other entrepreneurs. And again, this particular service, the Small Business Source, is going to be, I'm sure, another great resource for them. All right, and then we're getting into all this other stuff on the YouTube, which I have my own opinions, but I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to this early in the morning. And with I'm sorry, what was your full?
Kevin Borini Umberto Morrison.
Yeah, Commissioner Kevin Borini Umberto Morrison is in the house. He's here to talk about his campaign for Congress here in the state of Illinois. Can you hang out with us a little longer?
I'm ready.
All right. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we have Commissioner Kevin Morrison. I'm not going to forget that honorific. No, don't forget. The man, the myth, the legend, Dean DeLaley, and our good friend Jimmy is in studio.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. When we come back, it's more about what's going on around the Fox River Valley. You're welcome to call in 847-931-1410. Or if you want to text in your questions, that's 505-926-1410, 505-926-1410. And yes, on the YouTube, if you want to chime in with a question, I'll be reading those, provided they don't get too controversial. You don't want to hear my opinions on
We're going to get
ice.
Jimmy. Jimmy, we got to get him a Valium and take his coffee.
And we're back, folks. This is the WRMN Morning Show with your hosts, Elliot, the L Train Serrano. We've got Dino DeLaley of Dino's Night Out in studio. Jimmy Vaselli. I'm sorry, don't have your mics rolled up. No, let's say Jimmy
Good
Vaselli.
morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
And Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison in studio, running for Congress here in the state of Illinois. And during the break, sometimes the show that happens during the break is even more compelling to me than what happens on the air. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to pull one of the comments onto. We're going to address the elephant in the room and then move on from there, okay? Todd says, comments, unmask ICE. That's great, Kevin. He said, and then he goes, people, do your homework. Now, I was not sure what this meant because no one brought up ICE on this, and we haven't discussed it as of yet. But apparently you have discussed it on your social media.
Yeah, and also I've taken action on it on the county board. I sponsored a resolution calling for the unmasking, the identification of ICE agents, the requirement to wear body-worn camera. I think that, for one, that needs to be legislated in our Congress to require that. But, I don't wear masks when I'm in public. Our first responders don't wear masks unless you're a firefighter going into a fire. And we should have full disclosure, especially because no matter what job you can have, there is corruption. And if you can't identify who's actually taking these actions, how do you hold people accountable?
Well, there are folks who will say, but, they're doing this job and they need to be protected because they're going after drug dealers, and then the drug dealers are going to go after their families. And what do you say to that?
I mean, me as a public servant running for office, I put myself and my loved ones at risk, unfortunately. And that is a, disease in our politics here in this country and something that needs to be addressed.
I mean,
You know what, though? Just to jump, if I may, for a piece of the law enforcement. So when they are making a raid or whatever it is you want to call it, they're doing a no-knock warrant. Not everybody on that ICE team is the ones dealing in the drug enforcement. So if you have 2, 3, 4 guys that are masked for that reason, to protect identity, I could go along with that. But you got 12 or 15 people at that door, not all of them need to be masked. That's the part, I think. And there needs to be that understanding of that, because people think, oh, they're all a bunch of hoods and they're hiding. Why shouldn't they have themselves exposed and know who they are? I believe you should. You should have either your badge or an ID, something to identify who you are. If you do have others that are helping you on that raid, or call it what you want, fine. 2, 3 people that work in the drug unit, I can understand it. But all of them, I don't think that's proper. That's just me.
So again, that's something that I know is a hot button topic. It's something that's going to be, it's actually happening now in the Congress. We're voting on the budget for the DHS. And there are a lot of Democrats saying we're not going to vote for this because, if money is going to be going to ICE, we need to reform this sort of thing. Well, here we go. Todd, what is your stance on the Second Amendment, and would you support removing the FOID?
So I would have no ability in Congress. The FOID requirement is a state of Illinois policy. I'm running for U.S. Congress. But the Second Amendment is part of our Constitution. And so I do believe that law-abiding citizens should be able to have arms. However, where I differ is the ability of individuals to have military-grade weapons. And we see that. I talk to families all the time who are scared to send their kids to school because we do allow individuals to purchase weapons across this country that literally are meant to kill.
I mean, we did have a assault weapons ban during the Bush. Was it the Bush era?
Yes.
That was we decided to the Congress decided to let that lapse. The moment that assault weapons ban lapsed, the mass shootings in the U.S. skyrocketed. So it's not like we haven't had. And I hate the word gun control because you can't control guns, but it's in the Second Amendment. Regulation. Can we regulate the guns? That's what we should be looking for. Regulating guns. Why do I need an AR-15 to go hunting for bunnies? And are they zombie bunnies? And you go, my neighbor, what? Why do you need an AR-15? Are you that big a jerk that you need the AR-15 to defend yourself from neighbors or whomever? I just find that a little bit difficult to deal with.
And these are tough issues. I mean, these are not issues that haven't been talked about for years and years and years. And to put a binary yes or no answer on them just isn't the right way to go. This is not the Apolitical Talk Show, which is a great show on WRMF.
It's the way political talk show.
We doubled down. 4 suits and a policy statement.
I know. I'm wearing a suit jacket, guys. You ever see that? Yeah.
That is the biggest topic of discussion today. But these are not simple issues, and they need to be vetted out, and there needs to be a discourse on them. And what I like to say, and Elliot and Dean, correct me if you guys disagree, and I'm sure the commish believes in this. This is the greatest country in the world. Just because we have some disagreements doesn't mean that we shouldn't all love each other and work together to make it the greatest country in the world. We need to disagree in a reasonable manner and not just hate each other. Like, we all believe that there's good cops out there trying to protect us on the streets, and we need to fill our potholes, and we need to support those small businesses like my small business and the other small businesses in this room. And we need to focus on what we all agree on rather than every divisive disagreement. Like, we all agree that Chicago pizza is far better than New York pizza. Like,
How can we not?
there are many little things and big things that we need to agree on, and we need to build each other up rather than tear each other down.
And Elliot brought up a good thing that in the Second Amendment, there's regulation. Before, the FOID is a state of Illinois thing. But there was always, if you wanted to have that AR-15, if you're a gun collector, advocate, so there was that federal stamp that you can get. If you're a legit guy and you're able to have that, the federal stamp was more for an automatic weapon. So why not get the real AR-15 that you could shoot automatic? But you have to have that federal stamp. There is a requirement for that. So you're right. Bearing arms is important. I don't think that should be taken away from nobody, but you need to protect yourself.
Unless you're a felon.
Well, yeah. But there has to be regulation.
Yeah, but then I can call you a felon. I can call you a felon. I can designate you a felon, and you can't have a gun.
And
so
there you
there's
go.
regulation right there.
Right.
So see, I'm just saying, there's some who would argue that restricting guns from felons is a violation of the Second Amendment because it says the right to bear arms shall not be infringed.
Yeah.
So
I think that would be a minority view. I think most of our listeners probably agree that criminals and felons who have caused harm on others probably should not be allowed to bear arms.
If you could prove that it's harm on others, but if it's a felon, that's a financial crime, why should he not be allowed to have a weapon?
again, but that's just I bring that up to bring up the point that we have regulation of arms. It's not like anyone can have any weapon they want. There are standards in place. And then there's some folks who will go like, well, you can't have this, but I can have whatever I want. To me, that's the part that frustrates me the most. It's the whole, well, you shouldn't be doing, you can't have that gun because you have this in your past, but me, I did this, but I'm different. I'm better than you. I mean, that's essentially what it comes down to. People think they're better than others, so they should have privileges that the others don't. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the WRMN Morning Show. You're on with Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison and candidate for Illinois Congress.
Well, that's fine. Sounds like you have a bunch of real experts on everything today.
We try. If we can't be the experts, we fake it pretty well.
And now we get the naval expert.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Bob. How you doing?
How are you, Bob?
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
I'm doing very well, thank you. One question I would like to ask these people, and that is, if the AR rifle is so bad, why is it that there are so many of them, so very, very many of them, in private hands?
I mean, nationally, they got rid of the assault weapons ban. Cook County has had one in effect for a number of years. The state of Illinois recently passed one, but, those weapons were being sold to the general public. We could go down the weeds in terms of whether or not all the background checks actually and all the loopholes that exist that allow individuals who shouldn't be able to have these arms get access to them. But, what I want to work towards is making sure that our students, only have tornado drills, not active shooting drills.
Well, that's fine and dandy. But what you don't seem to understand is the right to keep and bear arms has nothing to do with hunting. It has to do with protection from government.
Exactly.
And
We need a lot of that right now.
It's a good point. It's a good point, Bob.
Yeah, but Bob, then what do you say? I'm going to step in this. I'm sorry. I mean, what do you say about people when that happened with the VA, the nurse who had a conceal and carry permit? He had it on, did not pull out a gun. At the moment the ICE agents saw that they had a gun, they tackled him, and then the fact that he was shot was justified by saying, well, he had a gun. Mind you, he had a carry permit in the state of Minnesota. What he did was legal, and yet they said, well, if you approach federal agents with a gun, that gives them justification to shoot you.
that's the government you have to defend yourself against. In the final analysis, when it comes to the point where government can rule by decree by a very small minority who say, we're afraid that you people want to get rid of us. Therefore, we're going to get rid of your guns. That's the first thing we're going to do. And that's happened in so many countries and has cost so many millions of lives that that's one freedom that we should not give 1 inch on. The right to keep and bear arms should be inviolable. You cannot touch it.
Thanks, Bob.
That's my opinion, gentlemen.
No, that's a great
Take care.
opinion, and many people share it. Thanks for chiming in, Bob. We appreciate you.
You know, one thing.
I'm sorry, we got a caller
Sorry.
coming in. Go on. Good morning, caller. You're on the WRMN Morning Show with Cook County Commissioner Kevin Morrison. How are you?
Elliot.
Yes.
Hello. Elliot, Lawnmower Chris. Real quick, I was listening to Bob, and I wanted to interject something real fast. And you got a great crew on there with you today. Great guests. I would really be interested in another 2 hours to hear everything we could talk about. But here's one thing. You did mention the incident in Minnesota with the nurse.
Yes.
The rest of the story is a week prior to him, his latest thing that hit the news like crazy, a week prior, he was assaulting the federal agents, and he kicked out a brake light on one of their vehicles. He interacted with the feds illegally, okay? He already had an incident a week prior and was tackled by the feds. He was there to harass them. When he went to the next, when he was just in the incident again, he carried his firearm with magazines with him, thinking he was going to be a big guy. Guess what? He encountered them again, and they had a situation with him, and he was brought to the ground, and he rolled over to pull his piece out.
Not true.
A week prior.
I saw the video. Not true. That did not happen.
Okay. Either way, but a week prior, he did have an incident.
I'm sorry. This is where my opinion comes in, and this is me.
That's okay.
Speaking for me, and not for anybody else in this room. He had an incident with federal agents before. So what? That is not
correct.
That is not grounds for summary execution. If I walk up to an Elgin Police Department truck and I get angry at them and I start kicking the windows, whatever, they can arrest me. They can tackle me to the ground.
Take action for what happens at the time.
And then there is due process. But right now, the way people are treating it is that they're going Judge Dredd out there. It's like, well, judge, jury, executioner, and I'm sorry, this guy, it does not matter. And he did not pull out his gun on anyone. They pulled him to the ground. We've all seen the video. And there's some folks who want to say otherwise. I am not going to deny it. It was the same thing.
Oh, yeah, Elliot, I agree with you because it is not clear from all the videos that we've seen, it is not clear that he did draw a weapon.
He didn't.
I think
here's my point.
It was somebody getting a little rogue. I will totally agree with you. It looks to me, from my opinion, it looks like somebody got a little rogue, and they recognized that this guy was giving them a hassle again.
Which is fine.
I believe completely that I think in this situation, some of the agents that did fire their sidearms did overreact in this situation. But as you notice, the first thing, it's who breaks the story first, okay? And it was a big thing. They made a big deal about that he was a nurse. Is it not true that he was also fired from being a nurse's position?
Look, but you know what, Chris?
Just hit the news.
Chris,
that doesn't matter.
Let's back it up.
Doesn't matter.
I know,
whatever it is.
But I'm just saying, he's not as innocent as the media is making him out to be.
Oh, my
Right.
goodness.
No, he's right on the piece with the media. But hold on a minute. What's one thing I think that's very important to understand? You talk about due process. That officer that also fired his weapon is allowed due process. We don't have the totality of circumstances in front of us for the three of us to make a panel, and Elliot as well, for the four of us, and now you, Chris, the five of us. So what we have to do is, although we could air those little clips, although we could show those pictures of what you want people to see, you don't always believe you believe half of what you see and nothing what you hear.
Right.
I've lived that way my whole life. My point is, let's get the totality of circumstances, get all the body cams, all the angles, then let's make a decision whether the officer is doing what he did or not. If the officer unjustly shot him, He should be responsible for what he did. He is a trained officer and has to follow the rules like everybody else.
You know, at Cook County, I sponsored a resolution in support of due process and habeas corpus. Those are protections under our Constitution. You know, I swore an oath to the Constitution 3 times in my life. Most recently, when I got sworn in as an attorney last year. And, you know, everyone deserves their day in court. Of course, everything needs to be looked at with reason, but everyone deserves
as a representative for the nurse, because he's deceased.
Again, it's important that we get all the facts. And I think Dino hit the nail on the head, as always. And you really need, we need to slow down a little bit and do some due diligence on issues as we go forward.
Yeah, that divisiveness that we
agree.
spoke of is still single digit.
I'm not saying that the agents were innocent whatsoever. You know, I'm saying that the media has blown up, as you just said. Hey, what's the story about the nurse? They refer to him as a nurse because that leaves a soft spot in our heart for feelings for people in that type of an employment.
Yeah, but at the same time, you've got the Trump administration coming out and saying he was a domestic terrorist and he was out there to assault officers. I mean, without any sort of going on there.
Ask the commissioner. Ask the commissioner. By rates of the law, he has a law degree. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Under the definition of the law, what would be the definition of a domestic terrorist?
I would not say that Alex Pretty would fall into that category. You know, after reviewing the videos myself.
Does that lead? Okay, Commissioner, would that lead to just a question? And I don't want to take all the time because I could end up having a great conversation with you guys. As a former active duty Marine of 12 years myself, I've been in a lot of crazy situations where I do have a strong opinion about things that happen in the defense of this nation. You know, about terrorism and everything that I've had to be trained in. And I'm just saying, to go into a definition of domestic terrorism, I understand how some people can look at that like definitely. And some people would say, are you crazy out of your mind?
I mean, it's all a matter of our views. We could flip it on ice.
Right?
You know, I've met my neighbors. I've got a lot of friends from the Latino community. I have friends who are Americans who only leave their houses now with their passports because they're terrified. So when we're looking at terrorism, that is striking terror in our communities, and we are witnessing that experience at this moment.
And you know, Chris, can I say too, that some people comment, that alone, and I could speak very well because the man's sitting in this room, when you make the comment of some people, and I know you're not using it in that way, you want to the labels are what causes the problems. We're causing this guy calling him a domestic terrorist. And then we're going to say, well, some people want to say, well, what do you mean some people? We know what you're referencing. So what's the some people? Let's just be more identifying. Let's be more calm in the approach. And let's say, and yeah, I'm looking for that perfect world sometimes, and people criticize me for that. But let's hear both sides. Let's hear all sides, and then make that determination. Let's not do it off of what color you voted in the polling booth. This man was still a human being that is no longer here. Father, brother, whatever he was, we still lost a human. Absolutely. We still lost a citizen.
Let me ask one more quick question, and I'm sure it'll probably maybe light a wick, but I don't. It's not political, and that would be the operations that our special military teams do, like our SEAL teams. Would we unmask our SEAL teams? No, but they are organized, and we hear about it after the events that have already happened. Otherwise, you're preempting what the events are going to be as to what the operations are doing. Now, we have these ICE divisions. We have the guys that we've seen on TV wearing the camouflage-colored stuff, and then we've seen the groups where they're all donned down in black. If they identify these people particularly, hey, this is the ICE unit, you know, they don't need to be running around in black outfits without some sort of identification to them wearing hoods. I agree with you,
Chris. You know what we're going to have to do? We want to let the candidate say his last couple of words because Chief Annalaley. I was listening, but I had to open the door. So why don't we let Mr. Morrison say his last couple of words for everybody?
Elliot, I appreciate the minute. Thanks. I'll let you guys go.
Thanks, Chris. Call in again.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate you, buddy.
I want to thank all our listeners out there. I want to thank you guys for having me here today. I'm Kevin Morrison, running for Congress in the Illinois 8. We've got a big primary coming up March 17th. I tell you, I'm someone who shows up. I'm accessible. I'm someone who will commit myself to regular town halls with our residents into this congressional district.
How do they reach you?
You reach me at kevinmorrisonforcongress.com. Please go follow me on social media. Learn more. Send me questions if you have them. But first and foremost, I want to deliver for the residents of this community. I'm from the working class. I'm not a multimillionaire, and I want to make things more affordable for you.
Thank you.
We went to the broadcast right after you said your contact info. We missed that last part, but we're still on the YouTube. We got a minute and 37 seconds. Anything real quick before we have the small business source. We shared that on the YouTube. Was there any final point you wanted to make in regards to all these things that we've been talking about for the folks on the YouTube?
40 seconds.
Yep. Hey, it's a very divisive moment, and we need leaders who are selfless, who actually care, who want to listen even when there are slight disagreements. But we need more compromise and people actually finding real solutions that deliver for our everyday Americans to do better. And that is what I'm committed to.
Spoken like a gentleman.
Thank you so much for coming in. I apologize if I got a little bit hot there. I mean, this jacket's
Elliot, you have a right like everybody else.
Yeah,
everybody has a right.
And
this is what we want. Everyone's opinion.
And all due respect to the lawnmower, Chris, he was making up very good points, and he was bringing up a point of view. And I got him. I just got you and me.
You're good.
I get beat. I get that way. All right, folks. Thank you so much for those of you who stuck around with us on the YouTube. This has been the WRMN Morning Show. Thanks again to Commissioner Kevin Morrison. Thanks again to Dino DeLaley and Jimmy Vaselli for hanging out with me this morning. I appreciate
Good
you.
show.
On Monday, we will have, hopefully, Susie C. will return and be back in the co-host chair. So until then, as we say, you've got one life. You want to make the most of it, but above all things, be kind.
Amen.
Be kind to each other.
Be kind, man.
Everybody's getting a little angry out there.
Chief Anna Lally's next.
Chief
Fridays
Anna
with the
Lally's
finest.
next. We love her.
Loving thy neighbor.